You'd think your lunch was safe in your own hands. But apparently not when someone decides that your meal belongs to the man, then threatens your entire life for daring to protest. It all started on a Tuesday that felt like it was finally going right. I'd just gotten out of a brutal meeting, and for once I'd remembered to pack my favorite homemade lunch. A grilled chicken bowl with avocado and a perfect sriracha drizzle. The weather was gorgeous too. I walked to my usual park bench. A small wooden seat under a tree that let through just enough light to feel warm without turning my meal into soup. I'd barely opened the lid when it happened. Out of nowhere, a woman with tangled hair and a frayed oversized hoodie marched up to me, dragging a little boy behind her. Without a word, she reached out, yanked the bowl from my hand so hard that I nearly dropped my water bottle, and started spooning food into the kid's mouth. For a moment I froze, stunned. The scene felt unreal, like someone had ripped a page from a script and dropped me into a social experiment. When I finally managed to find my voice, it came out shaky. "Excuse me, what are you doing? That's my lunch." The woman didn't even look at me. She kept feeding the boy, who looked confused and embarrassed but too hungry to refuse. "My son hasn't eaten all day," she spat out, her voice edged with desperation and defiance. "You can skip a meal." My heart dropped somewhere between pity and outrage. "I get that you're struggling," I said, "but you can't just steal someone's food. That's not okay." That's when she turned on me. Her eyes, which had been dull and tired, lit up with something cold and sharp. "Oh, so you're the type who lets a child starve while you stuff your face? You know what? Maybe CPS should hear about how heartless you really are." I remember blinking, trying to process those words. CPS. Child Protective Services. As if refusing to have my food stolen somehow made me abusive. "You can't be serious," I whispered, my voice breaking. "Oh, I'm dead serious," she hissed, now towering over me. "If you don't want to share with a hungry child, maybe someone should check if you're even safe to be around kids." That moment felt like stepping off a cliff. Suddenly, it wasn't just about losing lunch. It was about my reputation, my job, my life. I worked part-time as a tutor for kids. A single rumor that I was cruel to children could get me fired. As she kept talking, the boy tugged at her sleeve, whispering something I couldn't hear. His eyes darted between us, wide and frightened. For a second I thought maybe she'd calm down. But instead she doubled down, her voice growing louder so people nearby started to glance our way. I could see them. Joggers, parents with strollers, a few office workers on break. Their faces mirrored my horror and disbelief. But no one stepped in. Maybe they didn't know what to do. Maybe they didn't want to. My mind raced. I thought about calling the police, but what would I even say? "Hi, someone stole my lunch?" And if she really did call CPS and spun the story right, who would people believe? The frantic mother claiming she was saving her hungry child, or me, the woman who said no? The smell of my own food, now spooned into a stranger's mouth, made my stomach turn. My appetite was gone anyway. Suddenly, someone did step forward, a woman in a navy blue dress who had been walking her dog. Her dog barked once, sharp and loud. "Hey," the woman said, voice calm but firm. "Give her food back." The mother's head snapped around. "Mind your business. I think you made it everyone's business when you started stealing food," the woman shot back. For a flicker of a second, the mother looked rattled. But she recovered, pulling the boy closer and raising her voice. "This selfish witch wants a child to go hungry. What kind of person does that?" The woman in the navy dress took a breath. "I don't know your story," she said gently, "but scaring people into giving you food isn't the way." My eyes stung with tears I'd been holding back. Partly relief that someone was speaking up. Partly fear that it wouldn't be enough. The mother glared at both of us, and for a heartbeat, it looked like she might throw the bowl on the ground. But then she turned away, still muttering under her breath, still feeding the boy. The woman with the dog leaned closer to me. "Do you want me to call someone?" she asked softly. "I don't know," I whispered. "I just wanted lunch. Now she's threatening to ruin my life." It sounded pathetic, but it was true. The woman nodded, understanding in her eyes. "If she keeps threatening you, I'll back you up." I wanted to say thank you, but my voice stuck in my throat. That moment stretched forever. The mother finished feeding the boy, tossed my now empty bowl onto the grass, and stomped off, dragging him behind her. Even from a distance, I could hear her muttering about cruel women who hate children. The woman in the navy dress helped me pick up the bowl. It felt greasy, sticky, and worthless. My lunch was gone, my peace shattered. "You okay?" she asked. "I don't know," I said honestly. Then something strange happened. The little boy turned around, just before they disappeared into the street. He looked right at me, his face small and sad. And he mouthed, "Sorry." That single word nearly broke me. I sat back down, heart still pounding. The woman with the dog sat too, her dog sniffing at my bag. "People think moms can't do wrong," she said. "But scaring someone? That's wrong." I nodded. Words still wouldn't come. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Hope you learned your lesson. Next time, share before someone makes you." My stomach dropped again. How did she get my number? My mind raced through possibilities. Had she seen it on a paper in my bag? Had I dropped something? The woman saw my face and asked, "Is it her?" I just showed her the message. She frowned. "You need to be careful. If she keeps threatening you, maybe talk to the police." I nodded, my mind numb. And that should have been the end. But of course it wasn't. Later that evening, I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. When I listened, my blood went cold. It was her voice, low and spiteful. "Next time you see a hungry child, remember today. I know where you sit, and next time I won't ask." That night I barely slept. Every creak in my apartment felt like her footsteps. Every buzz on my phone twisted my stomach. But the twist came the next morning. I was standing in my kitchen, pouring coffee into a chipped mug, still replaying yesterday over and over, when my phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. Against my better judgment, I picked up. "Hey," a voice said, hushed, almost whispering. "Don't hang up. I'm her sister." My breath caught. "What? Whose sister?" "The woman from the park," she said quickly. "My name's Kara. Please just listen. I saw what happened yesterday. I am sorry." For a second, I couldn't even process what I was hearing. "How do you even have my number?" "I took it from her phone when she wasn't looking," Kara admitted, guilt heavy in every word. "I know this is insane, but I had to warn you." My hand shook, sloshing coffee onto the counter. "Warn me about what?" "She does this a lot," Kara said. "She finds someone alone. Usually another woman starts yelling about them being cruel to a kid. Most people just hand over food or money to get her to leave. But you pushed back. And now she's fixated on you." I sank into a chair, heart pounding. "Fixated? She keeps saying you're dangerous," Kara whispered. "She said she'd call CPS or even your work. Tell them you're abusive to kids." "I'm sorry. I know she sounds unwell. But you need to be careful." I stared at the wall, everything blurring. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I don't want her to hurt you," Kara said, her voice cracking. "Or hurt that little boy. He's my nephew. His name's Liam. He's only 6. And he's terrified all the time." The name hit me like a punch. Liam. The kid who mouthed sorry before disappearing down the street. I swallowed hard. "Is there anything I can do?" "I don't know," Kara whispered. "But please, if she contacts you again, keep everything. Screenshots, voicemails, texts. You might need them." "I will," I promised. "Thank you." "Really?" Before I could ask more, she hung up. I sat there for a long time, staring at my phone. The coffee went cold. Outside, the morning kept moving, cars rolling past, birds shouting at the sky. But inside, I felt suspended, caught between fear and heartbreak. Because now it wasn't just about me. It was about Liam too. The next days blurred together. I kept going to work, kept tutoring the kids who lit up when they understood something new. But every time my phone buzzed, my chest tightened. Every unfamiliar face in the park made me flinch. And she did message again. A photo, this tiny face, taken from across the park. The caption, "I see you." I showed it to the woman with the dog, whose name I'd learned was Natalie. She frowned. "That's harassment," she said. "You really should go to the police." "I know," I whispered, but part of me hesitated. Would they even help? Or see it as a petty argument over lunch? I saved the photo anyway. Days passed. I didn't see her in the park. For a moment, I let myself hope it was over. Until Friday. I was finishing up a tutoring session with a little girl named Emily. She was beaming because she'd finally gotten her times tables right. Her dad had come to pick her up, a quiet man in a suit who always thanked me politely. As I walked them out, someone stepped in front of me. It was her. Same tangled hair, same hoodie. But this time her face looked even harder, eyes like cracked glass. "I told you we'd see each other again," she sneered, loud enough that Emily's dad turned to look. I froze. "Leave me alone," I managed to say, voice shaking. "You think you can ignore me?" she hissed. "Maybe your boss should know what kind of monster they hired." My blood went cold. Emily's dad frowned, glancing between us. "What's going on?" "She hates kids," the woman snapped. "She refused to help my hungry son. Who knows what else she'd do?" "That's not true." My voice came out shrill, panicked. Emily looked at me, her small face confused and scared. The woman took a step closer. "Maybe CPS should pay you a visit. See what you're hiding." Before I could speak, Emily's dad raised his hand. "That's enough," he said, calm but firm. "You're scaring the children." She glared at him, lips curling into a snarl. "Oh, so you're defending her?" "She's my daughter's tutor," he said. "And she's been nothing but kind." For a moment her mask cracked. Rage flickered across her face, real, raw, and ugly. Then she turned, spat on the ground near my feet, and stalked off. Emily clung to her dad's sleeve, eyes wide. "I'm so sorry," I whispered, voice cracking. "It's okay," he said gently. "Are you all right?" "No," I admitted. "She's been following me." He hesitated, then handed me his business card. "If she comes back, call me. My brother's a lawyer. You shouldn't have to deal with this alone." Tears burned my eyes. "Thank you. Really." They left and I stood there, heart hammering so hard it felt like it might crack my ribs. That night I finally went to the police. I showed them the text, the voicemail, the photo. The off-camera, tired-looking woman with worry lines etched deep nodded as she took notes. "She hasn't physically hurt you yet," she said carefully. "But this is harassment. We can file a report and warn her to stay away. If she keeps contacting you, let us know immediately." Felt like something, at least. But walking home that night, every shadow felt sharper. Every sound made me jump. I kept thinking about Liam. The next morning Kara called again. "She's furious," she whispered. "She thinks you went to the police. She keeps saying she'll finish this." My breath caught. "Finish what?" "I don't know," Kara whispered, fear threading her voice. "But I'm scared for you. And for Liam." I hesitated. "Kara, can we meet? In person?" There was a pause. "Okay," she said finally. "There's a coffee shop near the park. Noon." I agreed, my heart a knot of nerves. At noon, I walked in and spotted her instantly. She looked nothing like her sister, tidy ponytail, clean jeans, haunted eyes. "I'm sorry," she blurted as soon as I Saturday. "I shouldn't drag you into this." "You didn't," I said softly. "She did." We talked for over an hour. Kara told me about their childhood, how her sister, Julia, had always been volatile, her mood swinging like a wrecking ball. After Liam's father left, things got worse. "She loves him," Kara said, voice cracking. "But her love is twisted, controlling, scary. Why doesn't she get help?" I asked. "I've tried," Kara whispered. "But she doesn't think she's the problem. And I'm afraid if I push too hard, she'll cut me and Liam off completely." The fear in her eyes made my chest ache. "Kara, do you think she'd really hurt me?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. "I don't know," she said finally. "But I wouldn't rule it out." I swallowed hard. "What about Liam? Is he safe?" Kara looked away. "As safe as I can keep him," she whispered. "But it's getting harder." We sat there, the noise of the coffee shop blurring around us. "I'm glad you called me," I said quietly. "Me too," she whispered. I don't know what to do anymore." I thought about Natalie, Emily's dad, the police report. Maybe we couldn't fix Julia, but maybe we could protect each other. "Whatever happens," I told Kara, "you're not alone." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered. We parted ways, both glancing over our shoulders as we stepped outside. That night, a new voicemail arrived. This time her voice was quiet, almost calm. You think your new friends can protect you, she said. You can't hide from what you did. I'm going to make sure everyone knows what kind of monster you really are. My hand shook as I saved the message. The next morning, the police called. We spoke to her, the officer said. She denied everything, of course. But she knows there's a report now. If she contacts you again, call us immediately. I thanked her but doubt not at me. Would that really stop Julia? Then, as if the universe wanted to answer, my phone buzzed. It was an email this time. No words, just a video attachment. My hands trembled as I pressed play. It was footage of me in the park, filmed from behind a tree. In the video, it looked like I was standing over Liam, who was sitting on the ground, and Julia's voice off camera saying, "Look at her scaring him. Poor kid's terrified." I knew what it was. An edited clip designed to look like I was threatening him. My stomach flipped. If she sent this to my work, to CPS, to Annie, it could ruin everything. For the first time, I realized just how far she'd go. My stomach flipped. If she sent this to my work, to CPS, to Annie, it could ruin everything. For a few seconds, I just sat there, numb. The walls of my apartment seemed to close in around me, the quiet pressing on my ears until my pulse was louder than anything else. Then panic surged like a wave, hot and dizzying. I called Kara. She picked up on the first ring, breathless. Did something happen? She sent me a video, I blurted out. It looks bad. Really bad. What kind of video? Kara's voice was tight, urgent. She filmed me from behind a tree. It makes it look like I'm threatening Liam. If she sends it to my work or CPS, I could lose everything. Oh God, Kara whispered. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she added, she told me she might do something like that. I hoped she was bluffing. My head was spinning. Kara, do you think she'll really send it? I don't know, she whispered. But you can't wait for her to decide. I have to go back to the police, I said. Yes, Kara urged. And maybe talk to a lawyer too. You need someone to help you fight this. I hung up, heart pounding. Then I called the officer I'd spoken with before. She listened carefully as I explained the video, her voice calm but serious. You did the right thing telling us, she said. Save that video. Don't delete anything. We'll add it to your file. Will this stop her from sending it? I asked, my voice thin. Unfortunately, she sighed. There's no way to stop someone from hitting send. But if she does, we'll have evidence showing a pattern of harassment and manipulation. It wasn't comforting, but it was something. That night I barely slept. Every creak of the building made me jump. Every buzz of my phone made my chest tighten. By morning there was a new email. No text, no subject line, just another attachment. Hands trembling, I clicked it open. A photo this time, Liam crying. And in the background, blurry but unmistakable, was me. Standing nearby, holding my lunchbox. My eyes burned. She was trying to build a case frame by frame, clip by clip, to paint me as some cruel monster. It felt surreal, horrifying. How could someone hate me this much? Someone who'd been a stranger only days ago? At lunch I met Natalie in the park. She noticed my face instantly. What happened? She asked, concern knitting her brow. She sent more, I whispered. Video, photos. Twisted to make me look dangerous. Natalie exhaled long and low. You need legal help, she said. Do you want me to come with you? Tears welled up. Would you? Of course, she said, voice firm. No one should go through this alone. We went to a small law office nearby. I'd never needed a lawyer before. The waiting room smelled faintly of old coffee and anxiety. A young woman named Megan listened carefully as I told her everything, showing the emails and videos. She's methodical, Megan said after a moment. She's building what looks like evidence to someone who doesn't know the truth. But you have an advantage. You saw it coming, and you kept the original context. What can we do? I asked. We'll draft a cease and desist, Megan explained. If she continues, it becomes clearer she's deliberately defaming you. And if she sends it to your employer, we can get ahead of it to explain what's happening before she poisons the well. It was the first time I felt like I might breathe again. As we left, Natalie squeezed my shoulder. You're stronger than you think, she said softly. Thank you, I whispered. And I meant it. But that fragile calm shattered the next day. I was at work finishing a lesson plan when my manager, Lauren, knocked on the door. Her face was pale. "Can we talk?" she asked. My chest seized. Of course. In her office, she closed the door gently. "We received something," she began, choosing her words with painful care. "An anonymous email. It included a video of you in the park with a child." My mouth went dry. "It's edited," I whispered. "It's not what it looks like." Lauren nodded. "I believe you," she said. "But we have to follow protocol. We'll do an internal review, and in the meantime, we'll ask you to take a few days off. Paid leave." My stomach dropped. "Lauren, please," I choked out. "This woman is stalking me. She's trying to destroy my life because I wouldn't give her my lunch." "I know," Lauren said gently, eyes sad. "But we have to show we're taking it seriously. I promise we'll look at everything." I left work numb, my feet moving without thought. Outside, I called Kara. She answered, voice shaky. "She sent it," I managed to say. "I'm so sorry," Kara whispered. "I wish I could stop her." Silence stretched between us. Then she added, "You shouldn't have to do this alone. Come over. Meet Liam. See for yourself." My breath caught. "Are you sure?" "Yes," she said. "Tonight." I hesitated, fear prickling my spine, but curiosity and something softer, deeper pushed me forward. "Okay," I whispered. "Text me the address." A few hours later, I stood outside Kara's apartment, a narrow building with peeling paint and flower pots on every windowsill. My pulse thudded like a drum. Kara opened the door, smiling nervously. "Come in." Inside, it smelled like cinnamon and detergent. A small living room cluttered with toys. And there, peeking from behind the couch, was Liam. "Hey," I said gently, kneeling. "It's nice to finally meet you." He looked at me, brown eyes wide and wary. Then, in a voice so small it almost broke my heart, he whispered, "I'm sorry." "For what?" I asked softly. "For my mommy," he said, eyes brimming with tears. My chest tightened. "You don't have to be sorry," I said. "None of this is your fault." Kara watched, tears slipping silently down her face. Liam stepped closer. "She says you're bad," he whispered. "But you don't look bad." "I'm not," I said, voice shaking. "And you're not bad either." He nodded, clinging to Kara's hand. For the first time, the faceless child from the park had a voice, a softness, a name that meant something more than a pawn in his mother's rage. Later, after Liam had gone to bed, Kara and I sat in her kitchen. "She's unraveling," Kara whispered. "She keeps ranting that you ruined everything. I don't know what she means." My mind raced. Could she have been planning this even before we met? "I don't know," Kara admitted. "But I'm scared." "So am I confessed. Then Kara reached across the table, her hand warm over mine. "Whatever happens," she said, voice firm, "I'm on your side." And for the first time in days, the terror eased just a little. That night back home, my phone buzzed again. A new voicemail. "You think you're clever?" Julia's voice spat, shaking with rage. "Parading around with my sister, turning her against me? You have no idea what you started. I'm going to make sure you regret ever crossing me." I saved it, then forwarded it to the police and Megan. The next morning, I woke to 3 missed calls from an unknown number. My heart sank. Then my phone rang again. This time it was Megan. "I just spoke to your manager," she said, voice calm but urgent. "She also received a second video overnight. But it clearly shows you helping Liam up from the ground. It completely contradicts the first clip." My breath caught. "She screwed up." "Exactly," Megan said. "By sending contradictory evidence, she made it clear she's manipulating context. That helps your case enormously." Hope flickered, fragile but bright. But Megan's tone darkened. "Still, don't let your guard down. Someone this unstable might lash out in other ways." That evening, Kara called, voice shaking. "Julia's gone," she whispered. "She packed a bag, took Liam, and just left." My chest seized. "Do you know where?" "No," Kara said. "But I'm scared. She's never done this before." My mind raced. "Do you think she'll hurt him?" "I don't know," Kara whispered, voice breaking. "I'm so scared for him." Without thinking, I said, "I'll come over." And I did. We sat in her living room, the quiet broken only by the ticking clock on the wall. Then Kara's phone buzzed. A message. From Julia. She sent me an address, Kara breathed. A motel outside town. Call the police, I urged. She might do something desperate. Minutes later, sirens wailed outside. Police arrived, took Kara's statement, and sped off toward the motel. Kara and I sat frozen, barely breathing. After what felt like a lifetime, Kara's phone rang. She answered, voice trembling. Is he okay? She blurted out. I couldn't hear the words on the other end, but Kara's knees buckled in relief. They found them, she whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. He's safe. She sank into a chair, sobbing, and I hugged her tight. But as relief settled, dread crept in. Because we both knew. This wasn't over. Julia had crossed a line she couldn't uncross. And I'd gone from being her target of anger to something worse. The proof in her mind that everyone was against her. The night was long and heavy, sleep scattered in shards. Morning came gray and restless. A knock at my door startled me awake. Through the peephole. Kara, pale and shaken. She's gone again, Kara whispered. She left Liam at the motel, just walked out. No note. Nothing. My heart ached for Liam and for Kara, who looked hollowed out by fear and grief. What now? I asked softly. I don't know, she whispered. But Liam's with child services for now. They said because I'm family I might get custody. But Julia, she's out there somewhere. The weight of it settled heavy between us. And in that silence, a shared understanding. It wasn't really about the lunch. It never was. It was about control, about rage, about wounds that ran so deep they swallowed everyone nearby. Yet in the wreckage, something fragile had grown. An unexpected alliance, maybe even a kind of friendship. And though I didn't know what Julia would do next, I knew we'd face it together. Yet in the wreckage, something fragile had grown. An unexpected alliance, maybe even a kind of friendship. But Julia wasn't finished. A week later, she surfaced again, this time through a blocked number, calling me late at night. Her voice was hoarse, half whisper, half threat. You think you won, she hissed. You ruined my life. You turned my own sister against me. But I'm still Liam's mother. You can't erase me. It chilled me deeper than I expected. Because behind the venom, there was something raw, something like despair. The next morning, Megan called with news. Julia hired an attorney, she said. They're threatening to sue you for defamation and emotional distress. My stomach turned. Can they really do that? They can file, Megan admitted. But we have your evidence. And from everything she's done, the risk is higher for her than for you. I doubt it'll stick. Still, the thought of a lawsuit felt like a fresh stone on my chest. Later that day, Kara texted. Can you come over? Just 3 words, but they carried so much weight. At her apartment, I found her sitting on the floor by a cardboard box of Liam's clothes and toys. Her eyes were red, voice ragged. Child Services said there'll be a custody hearing. They're considering me as temporary guardian. That's good, right? I asked carefully. Yes, Kara nodded, wiping her face. But Julia called them. Said if they let me take him, she'll disappear forever with him. They're terrified she means it. My breath caught. What can you do? I'm going to the hearing, she said. I'm going to fight for him. He deserves better. I reached out, squeezing her hand. I'm so proud of you. Her lips trembled into a small, broken smile. I'm scared. But I have to try. That night, lying awake, I thought about Liam. About how his life had become a battlefield of threats and fear. And about Julia, too. Twisted by pain into something almost unrecognizable. It struck me how a single momentous stolen lunch, a stubborn refusal, could set fire to lives. Days blurred into waiting. Then the hearing came. Kara asked me to come. Not to speak, just to be there. The family court was colder than I expected. Pale walls, metal benches, the air humming with quiet desperation. Julia sat on the other side of the room, shoulders hunched, eyes hollow. She looked smaller than I remembered. When Liam entered, holding the hand of a social worker, his eyes searched the room and lit up when they found Kara. It was a small spark of hope in that sterile room. The judge listened, brows knit, voice calm but firm. Kara spoke softly but fiercely, telling them why Liam needed safety, stability, love. And when the judge asked if she understood the weight of guardianship, Kara's voice didn't shake. Yes, Your Honor. I do. Then Julia spoke. Her words were scattered, tangled in anger and heartbreak. She blamed me, blamed Kara, blamed the world. But behind every accusation was a raw, gnawing grief. I'm still his mother, she finished, voice cracking. The room felt frozen. After what felt like forever, the judge ruled. Temporary guardianship to Kara. Visitation for Julia supervised, until further review. Kara's shoulders sagged with relief. Across the room, Julia's face crumpled, rage and sorrow warring in her eyes. After the hearing, outside in the sunlit courtyard, Kara hugged Liam tight. I stood nearby, unsure if I should intrude, but Liam looked up and walked over. Thank you, he said, voice small. For what? I whispered. For helping Aunt Kara, he said, eyes clear and brave. And in that moment, the noise of lawyers and strangers fell away. All that mattered was this little boy, standing in the ruins of grown-up wars, still finding the courage to say thank you. Weeks passed. Julia kept fighting. More emails. More veiled threats. But with every new message, her credibility faded. Megan handled the legal side. I stayed close to Kara and Liam. Slowly and possibly, life began to stitch itself back together. I went back to work. Lauren welcomed me gently, saying the internal review cleared me completely. We know your heart, she said simply. That matters here. I cried afterward in relief, exhaustion, gratitude. One Saturday, I met Kara and Liam at the same park where it all started. The benches looked the same. The trees cast the same shadows, but everything felt different. Kara brought sandwiches this time, handing me one with a crooked smile. No one stealing your lunch today, she teased, soft but playful. Liam laughed, chasing a butterfly across the grass. Watching him run, free from fear for just a moment, was worth everything. Then, as the sun began to set, Kara turned to me. Do you regret it? She asked. Not giving her the lunch that day? I thought for a moment. The easy answer would have been yes, to wish away the chaos, the fear, the pain. But the truth was messier. I regret what it cost, I said slowly. But if I had given in, maybe none of this would have come out. Liam would still be stuck. You might never have known how much he needed you. Kara nodded, tears glinting. I think about that too. Besides, I added, trying to smile, my lunch wasn't even that good. She laughed, really laughed, and the sound felt like hope. But Julia wasn't a ghost forever. One rainy evening months later, Kara called me, voice shaking. Julia's here, she whispered. Outside my apartment. My chest clenched. Call the police. I did, she said. They're on the way. Through the crackle of the line, I heard pounding on a door, Julia's muffled shouts. I just want my son. Julia screamed, her voice ragged and broken. You can't keep him from me. Police arrived, voices firm but calm. Julia didn't resist, just crumpled to the wet pavement, sobbing. They took her into custody. Kara called me later, voice raw. They're evaluating her, she whispered. Mental health hold. And just like that, the fight changed shape. It wasn't about winning or losing anymore. It was about what happens after the anger runs out, when all that's left is pain. Months turned into a year. Julia entered treatment. The calls stopped, the threats ended. Liam settled into life with Kara. School, bedtime stories, warm breakfasts. I saw them often, birthday parties, library trips, ordinary Saturdays. And each time Liam seemed lighter, his laughter less guarded. One day, Kara invited me to dinner. After we ate, she pulled out a small box. I wanted you to have this, she said, pressing it into my hands. Inside, a photo of the three of us in the park. Kara, me and Liam. Sunlight catching in his hair, smiles honest and unguarded. It's silly, Kara said softly, but you helped save him. And me too. My throat closed up. It's not silly, I whispered. Thank you. Sometimes people ask me if I ever think about that day in the park. The day a stranger stole my lunch. And the truth is, I do. Because that day ripped open lives but also let light in. Julia's pain didn't start with me. I was just the spark. But refusing to be silent, to be intimidated, helped uncover what Liam truly needed. Would it have been easier to hand over my lunch? Maybe. But easier isn't always kinder. Today Liam is taller, braver, still carrying scars but healing slowly. Kara's stronger than she knows, and she knows it now. And me? I still bring my lunch to the park. Sometimes Liam steals my chips and Kara rolls her eyes. But we laugh. Because what mattered wasn't a sandwich. It was standing up when it counted. It was remembering that kindness isn't weakness, but real kindness also means protecting the innocent, even if it costs you. And in the end, that choice changed everything.